Hi everyone, good evening. If you can hear me, kindly type I can hear you. Good evening everyone. If you can hear me, type I can hear you. If you can hear me, type I can hear you. Alright, alright. Alright, so today's class. So before we start out, start inviting your friends, those that are meant to be here, your colleagues, start inviting them. Start inviting them. Call them. Anyone that you know is not here, call them. Check up on your group members, your squad members before we start out. So let me give you by 7:05 we would start, so we should wait for others to come in the next 3 minutes. So if you know anyone that you think is not here or anyone that should be here, go and invite them, go and bring them. Send a message on your group. By 7:05 we would start so that we make space for others to come in. All right, welcome everyone. Welcome to class. Welcome to class. Welcome to class. So we'll start now. Today's class will be about A and B testing. I'm sure um, looking at A and B testing, you'll be looking at it as one big word, but then it's not one big stuff. So, in simple words, before I go to the definition, A and B testing is simply comparing two versions. You have version A, you have version B, comparing them and seeing which one is better. So, a little background: A and B testing is done for every campaign, social media campaign, as a copywriter, as a content writer, especially for ads. Yeah, especially for ads. Imagine you're writing a copy for a landing page. I've told you what landing page is. Imagine you're writing a copy for a landing page. You would need to write like two different versions of the copy for the landing page, and then check out which one would work well, which one would give better results. So what people usually do is, that's for ad specialists, what they do is they write two landing page copies and then run test an ad for like just 24 hours. They would test these two ads, they would run the two ads, you know, they will target the same audience and all, write the same copy, and then for 24 hours two different ads are running on a lesser budget, and at the end of 24 hours they will check out which one brought in more results, which one brought in more. They bring less. But they just they will check out which one brought in more results, which one brought in um maybe leads and all of that. So that's what A and B testing is for. Also, A and B testing is a method for comparing two versions of content to see which performs better, like I said. It's also called split testing. Testing, okay, we have these two different ideas, these two different copies, which of them would work, which of them would work better. So that's what A and B testing is for. It helps improve your content based on new users' behavior. Yeah. So why use A and B testing? In fact, if you don't test your ads, if you don't test your copy and all of that, you won't know which one would work. You won't know which one to focus on, which one would work well. So imagine you want to run an ad, someone wants to run an ad, and they bring you in as the landing page copywriter, as the copywriter, and then you just write a copy and then just start the ad just like that. And they just start the ad just like that. They won't, if they get a wrong result, they won't know where um the problem is coming from. Yeah, they won't know where the problem is coming from. So it's important that you test your ads, test your copy, test which one is better. So kindly confirm if you can hear me now. Kindly confirm if you can hear me now. Kindly confirm if you can hear me now. All right, moving forward, another need why we need to do A and B testing is to improve user experience. To improve user experience, to make data driven decisions. So imagine testing your ad, testing your copy for the next 24 hours, or let's even say 12 hours, and we determine the one that gets better results. And then we determine the one that gets better results. So the copy that gets better results is what we are going to use to run the major ad. So that's what we do. This also goes for blogs, though, but not so much for blogs. This is more of landing page copy. When you are working with a company and they want to run an ad and they bring you in as a copywriter, this is what basically it's for. But you can also use it to update your website content and all of that. So it removes guesswork from content choices. All right. So A and B testing. What should be involved in A and B testing? Now you have your headlines, you have your CTA buttons, you have images, you have videos, you have email subject lines, you have page layout or structure. Now you need to have this for your two different copies. And then these are the important things that should be included in your A and B testing. Now, your headline, it doesn't have to be this, it should not be the same thing, it should be different. Your call to action buttons should be different. Now this is to tell us that, oh, this city actually worked better than this. Okay, this city actually brought in more leads than this other city. Okay, this headline actually brought in more leads than this other headline. So this is why you need it. So the next is images or videos, email subject lines. You know, if you have worked as an email writer, marketer, or email writer, working from the working from the website where you send in your emails and all of that, you would see all of the data from there. So if you can test and say, okay, for the next 24 hours, so we would send this email out, we'll send these two different emails, and then check out which one was opened more than the other one. So this is how you would know whether we should use this headline, whether we should use this subject line more often, or we should not use it. So this is why you need A and B testing. So page layout and structure should be included. It might be different for you, but these five things are actually very important and they should be different when carrying out your A and B testing. Now, A and B testing process. Now, choose one element to test. Let's say for this testing, we are testing the headline. We are testing if this headline would work well for what we are looking for. We are testing if this headline would give better results. Now, you need to choose one element to test. Then create two versions of the headline. Okay, you want to test headline or you want to test the call to action. This I told you this majorly works for, we do A and B testing majorly for ads, social media ads, ads in general. We do A and B testing for ads. So as a copywriter, they would not just say, oh, write a copy and just give us, let's just start the ad. And imagine you're running an ad that it's up to 1 million naira or 2 million naira, and you just start the ad just like that without any testing to see if this is the CTA that would work better for this audience, or to know if this is the headline that would work better for this audience. And you just start out like that, and then you get zero results. All of that money is wasted. Rather, you're meant to bring out, let's say, like 10,000 naira, 30,000 naira to test which of this would work better. So you have two options now, and then you're saying, oh, which of these options would work better? That's why you need A and B testing. So I get you should understand now why you should test before going further. So imagine using 20,000 naira to test for 24 hours, or let's say 12 hours. Either you should choose between bringing out that little amount to test, or losing 1 million naira or 2 million naira for an ad that you did not even test at all. So this is why you should test. So the first thing is, oh, choose the elements you want to test. I said it. Create two versions. This is the first version of this headline. This is another version of this headline. Show version A to half your audience and B to another half. Now, the next is measure which performs better. This is why you should test. Measure which performs better. I already explained it. Now, some tools that you can use for A and B testing, tools like Google Optimize is very free. You can use Optimizely. Then you can use Unbounce. Unbounce is usually used for landing pages actually. So you can use Unbounce. So when you check out these tools, they're actually very easy to use. You would also find templates. You would find templates for all of that. Then you can also they also have like they have like guides to show you how to start out with Unbounce, start out with the page, using it and all of that. Then I would actually suggest that you use more of Google Optimize, but that was actually back then. It's not popular now because it's that was back then. But then Google Optimize was actually like a free tool and all of that. But now what is common now is Unbounce. That's one thing that you can use. Then another you can use is MailChimp. I use MailChimp a whole lot for emails. Mostly use it for email marketing, email writing. So what happens with MailChimp is you can send out a few, let's say two different copies. Maybe you're testing the headline. I think that works for testing headlines too, majorly. So imagine sending out two different sub headlines and then checking out which one was opened first, which one did people open more. So the one that people opened more is what you would use for the long run. In the long run, that's what you'd use for the ad in the long run. So HubSpot is also on that. So HubSpot actually has a whole lot of tools. So when you check, you would also see a whole lot of them. So how do you measure your A and B testing? Now, I'm going to use two examples. Number one, emails. Number two, usual social media ads. So now for social media ads, you would see click-through rates, you would see conversion rates, you would see for Instagram, you'd see the time that people spent, watching that reel. For YouTube, you would also see the time people spent watching it. Then you can also see bounce rates and form completions. I think you can see that more often in MailChimp and email testing sites. So these are the factors that you use to measure, oh, did people actually click on it? So if you have two different copies and a particular copy, more people actually clicked on it than this other copy within that space of 24 hours or 12 hours that you're testing, then you know that, oh, we need to use this more. So you are going to pause the other ad and then invest more in this one that actually had more click-through rates. So that's how A and B testing works. So conversion rate. So same thing with click-through rates. If your aim for that ad is to generate more leads, to generate more conversions, then more people find you out, then more people um, order for your service, then more people buy your product or whatever. Conversion rate is a major stuff that you are going to check out. Conversion rate is what you are going to check out. You check out, oh, actually how many people did this ad convert in this amount of time? How many people did sorry about that. So how many people bought this product within this period? So if more people bought this product through this ad copy compared to this other one, then oh, you need to stop this ad and then continue with the other ad. So that's how A and B testing works. So tips for effective A and B testing: test one change at a time. Test one change at a time. So you can say, okay, maybe we should test maybe you should test um the headline. You can say, okay, maybe we should test the CTA. So have a goal. Do you want more clicks? This actually works for someone that wants more followers. You know, people that are running ads for more followers. So this actually works for that. Then you should also define: do you want more clicks? Do you want more leads? Do you want more engagement? So you need to define why you are testing. So that's helps you to know, okay, what you should look out for in these two ad copies. So the next thing is run the test long enough to get solid data. Now, running the test long enough is actually more for emails. Imagine you're running an ad. Of course, the ad costs money. You're not going to use the all the amount of ads to be running two different ads at the same time. No, what is advisable is, okay, for ads now you test it for 24 hours, and then which one performed better, you continue with that. Imagine you have just an amount like 200,000 naira to run ad, and then you are testing, almost you want to test just you want to test with about 100,000 naira. It doesn't make sense, it doesn't work well. So bring out a little amount of money, test which one works better. use a large Use a large audience. That's another one. So common A and B testing mistakes, a whole lot of mistakes that people make when testing: changing too many elements at once. Now if you are changing too many elements at once, you won't be able to know which one you that works better. Imagine you are changing headline, you're changing city, you're changing one part of the copy and all of that. You won't be able to know which one actually worked better. So it's best for you to know which one you are testing. Which of the elements are you testing? Are you testing the headline? Are you testing the body? Are you testing the city? Are you testing the image? You can also test image. You can also test videos. So you need to know which of them are you testing. Now, ending test too early. This is more of emails, because for emails now, not everyone might have data or might have that time to, click on emails in maybe 24 hours. Some might be busy throughout the day, and when they come back, Lagos life, they come back, they just have to sleep. Not because they don't want to go through their meals, but because they've been packed up. Some people, their schedule for that day might be different from the usual. So you need to consider all of these things while testing. Ignoring small but meaningful changes. Then not retesting after making updates. Now, not retesting after making updates. Test, but it shouldn't be that long, because you need to also go for the main ad. You need to also continue the main ad. So you shouldn't test. Oh, yes, you need to test for long to also get the right results. But this actually works more for emails. Retest, keep testing which would work better, but don't test the first time and then the next time again you want to still test and wasting money for ad. No, it doesn't work that way. So yes, you can. Another way to do it is you can actually create like a dummy kind of ad and then run it. Yeah, so that's another one. So this is like a practical stuff that you can do to test. So pick one element on your blog or website, then create two versions. I gave you a list of tools that you can use to test: on Bounce, MailChimp. Now, MailChimp, you can actually use the trial version. Then HubSpot, so you can also use that. Then Google Optimizing, Optimizely, so you can also use that. So what you should do for you to practice this A and B testing: pick one element on your blog, write. You can have like a particular article, or let's say the home page, which is like the landing page, and then you can change the headline. Have two different headlines, and then have two different CTAs, and then you'd be able to know which one actually worked better. So you can use email. If you also have a friend that probably is is an ad specialist. You can use this to practice actually. If you can spare like okay, I know Facebook actually doesn't um Facebook ads are not expensive. So with 5,000 naira, 2,000 naira, you can actually run ads. So it's for you to practice, not necessarily for you to waste money or stuff. It's for you to practice. So you can have two different ad copies. Tell a designer to design something for you, and then your ad specialist can run those two ads. Then you'd be able to check, oh, which one actually did better. The one that did better would be the one that you can say, oh, it actually worked well. Yeah. All right. Okay. So sorry about that background noise. So you can test with ads. You can also test with emails. You can create a free account on Mailchimp and then test it also. So that's another thing you can do. So the next thing we're going to be talking about will be Google Analytics. So these things are actually not that bulky. Google Analytics, you can create an account on Google Analytics, connect it to the website you work with. So this is basically like teaching you how to like connect your website or your social media platform, even your personal social media page, how you can, connect it to your social media page to check out. The need for Google Analytics is not just um it's actually more in depth. Google Analytics help you know the people that you the people that are seeing you, where they are seeing you from, their country, their age gap, more in-depth data. Google Analytics gives you more in-depth data. All right, so Google Analytics is a free tool that helps you track how people use your website. It helps you understand what content is working and what needs improvement. So with Google Analytics connected to your website, you'll be able to know which content is actually doing well, which content is doing better, and which content you should update. Then the next is, why should you use Google Analytics to track page views? As a copywriter, as an SEO writer, you should know how to use Google Analytics. Actually, it's not like a hard stuff. It's not one big stuff that it's hard. No, it's just an analytics tool that you can use, but it's not hard. Let me just use that word. It's not hard. So it's to track page views, see where visitors come from, learn what content people like, measure. Now, for someone that is targeting just Nigerians and your product or your service is targeted towards helping Nigerians, not not let's say your product is a product that you need to supply around Nigeria, and it won't, let's say it won't be useful to those abroad, or you don't supply abroad, you'll definitely be targeting those in Nigeria, and your content should actually be related to those in Nigeria. Now, for someone like that, this helps you actually check out the people that are reading your content. So if your content is meant for Nigerians and you are saying that you are having more of those in Ghana reading your content, then there is a problem. Then you need to change something. So this is why you have Google Analytics. Now, it helps you measure conversions and user behavior. Then it helps you learn what content people like. Now, setting up Google Analytics account, create a Google Analytics, and just with your email, you can just do that. Then add tracking code to your website. Now, when you go to Google Analytics, you will see like where to add a tag manager. You would see in I would see if I don't know if I can share my screen, but um okay, so Sorry about the break. I'm trying to see if I can share my screen for you so I can show you like a live um stuff. Okay, so let's just go on. So when you open Google Analytics, you would see the home page. Then you would see you can add your the website you want to add in. You can add your account, add web stream. You would see a place where you can add web stream. Now that place where you can add web stream, you would see Google tags. You would see like a tag that you can connect with your website. So what you do is to copy that Google tag and then go to your website. For WordPress, there are actually different places. There's WordPress, there's GoDaddy, and all of that. So there are different ways for these two different website managers. So then you would see a place in any of the websites you manage. That's from the front end now to add Google Analytics to your site. Better still, you can tell your web developer. I think I said it in the last class. You can tell your web developer to just connect it for you. But then for a social media page, you can also connect that to your website. So, so key metrics that you need to know. Sessions, you would see visits to your site. How many visits? You would see unique visitors. Now, unique visitors is, let me give you an explanation. So there's impressions. Impressions is how many times a particular person, not a particular person, but how many times someone saw your post. But then unique visitors are people that they saw your post, like they saw your post several times. But unique visitors is not counting how many times these people actually saw your post. Unique visitors is saying this person saw your post, but it's not saying they saw your post how many times. So that's unique visitors. So now imagine unique visitors for a page. Let me just use a very small example. Let me say 10 persons. Now 10 persons visited the website. Now, three of them visited the website 5 times. Now, three of them visited the website. So, three of them visited the website 5 times, 5 times each. Now, impressions is counting each of those times that they visited the website. That's impressions. But then unique visitors is saying we have 10 people that visited the website. So that's unique visitors. So because when checking Google Analytics, you would see unique visitors, you would see frequency, you would see all of that data. So you need to know, you need to understand what they are. All right, the next is page views. You would see the number of page views you have. You would see bounce rate, the percentage of visitors who leave after one page. You would see average time on the page. This is another very important analytic you need to check out in your page. You need to check out the time people are spending. So now when you are checking out the time people are spending, when you're checking out the time people are spending in a particular article, the time people are spending on a particular article, then oh, maybe you should tweak something about these other articles. So that's why analytics is actually very important. All right, so the next is content performance reports. So you see behavior, content, you would see all pages. Now you would also see, it would also show you top performing pages. Then you would know that, oh, that means we should repurpose more of these articles, more of these pages, so that we can have more visits. So it also tells you which blog post gets the most traffic. You would see there. So all your once your developer connects your analytics, your job is to just interpret all of those analytics that you get. Your job is to interpret them and use them to have more page views, to get more results. That's why we're actually like taking this class. So the next is understanding traffic sources. Now we have acquisition, we have organic search, we have direct, we have referral, we have social. You'd find all of these things in Google Analytics. Now acquisition is, you got this the channels that you have, if it's social media, if it's website. Then we have organic search from Google. You would see that, oh, this is the amount of views, this is the amount of results, analytics you have from people searching your website. You can also find this if you are familiar with SEMrush, is an SEO tool. You would also see your analytics for organic search. So this tells you that, oh, let's say people searched for this term and they got to your website. So it tells you that, okay, oh, you are ranking for this keyword. More people are, you're ranking for this keyword. When someone searches for this search query, they find your website. So the next is direct. Someone typed in. So all of this data, you would find it on Google Analytics. It tells you that, okay, well, this is the analytics you have for people typing, how many people typed your URL and got to your website, then referral from another site. That's like backlinking, when a particular site mentioned your website and then clicked your website. So someone coming from another site, clicking through your website from another site, that's referral. Then social, from social media, you would see the clicks that you got from social media. So this works also when you are running ads, to also know the amount. Let's say you're running ads for social media and then you find your CTA was maybe learn more on our website, and then you would be able to know how many clicks you had from social media. So those are the major traffic sources that you would find on Google Analytics. All right, so the next is, sorry, that's a mistake. Sorry about that. So the next is setting up goals. Setting up goals. Define actions you want users to take. Now, from social media, or let's say even your website content, define what they should do next. That's why a particular class that we took about search engine optimization, SEO writing, and all. I told you your CTA can be, okay, checklist. Your CTA can be learn more on this other website, on this other page. Your CTA can be, okay, buy our fill this Google form, to get into our next cohort. Your CTA can be buy this particular digital product. So in every of your content, you don't just write content. Yes, write content to educate people, but let there be something that you would benefit. Whether it's, oh, sign up for something or whatever, let there be something that you would benefit. So now set up the goals. Okay, this page, what is the goal of this article? What is the goal of this page? Now track this as goals in Google Analytics. So let's say your the goal of a particular ad was, or let's even say website content. The goal of a particular article was to get more sign-ups for your webinar, for your paid webinar, and then you ran an ad from social media down to your website, or you just wrote an article and then told people, okay, sign up and all. So Google Analytics will check where your where your result is coming from. If it's coming from social media, how many clicks that ad from social media, and then the time people spent on that page, it will tell you all of those things. So in the previous slides, I showed you I showed you the key metrics that you should know. That's the traffic sources. You would see, okay, maybe if people searched for a particular search query and then they found your website or they found that page, and then people searched for, or people typed in your URL and then they found that page. So all of this would make you know, okay, which one actually worked best in this particular campaign. We are selling this particular digital product, which format worked well. So that's why you need all of this. So the next is using Google Analytics to improve your content. Now, how can you use Google Analytics to improve your content? A major way to use Google Analytics to improve your content, you may not be able to connect Google Analytics to your website by yourself. If you don't know how to do that, though, I can do that because I am actually like a full-time SEO specialist. So, but then as an SEO writer, you can tell your web developer to do that for you. But then, how you can use it to improve your content, the interpretation is identify low performing content. Now, when you identify low performing content, you would know that, oh, maybe this we should not be posting more of this kind of content. And that thing is identify top performing content and repurpose top performing content. Repurpose them, not like copying them. No, repurpose them, like write content related to more of that topic. You get, so that's another thing you should do. Improve pages with high bounce rates. The another thing is update or repurpose popular posts, like I said. Then create more of what has worked. So I gave the example of you want people to sign up for your webinar, and all of that. And but you put in a particular strategy, let's say social media ad or article, and then you put in your CPA, your link for people to sign up, and you put in a particular structure that actually worked. So create more of that structure that would work, that actually worked before. So that's how you can use Google Analytics to improve your content as a writer, as a copywriter. Don't be a copywriter or an SEO writer that doesn't know how to use Google Analytics. So the thing is, with time, you'd actually, it's not actually like a serious stuff because once you open Google Analytics, you would see all of the data there. You would see all of these things I told you, you would see them there. So it's not a big stuff. You don't need to sit down and say, oh, yeah, I'm learning how to use Google Analytics. So it's not a big stuff. So, but then the first time you use it, you would know how to interpret all of that. So, but then these are the four things that you need to take note of. So you are not just having Google Analytics just there. You're having Google Analytics to help improve your content, to create better content, to have more page views and all of that. So bonus tools that you can use, you would have real-time reports, you would have site speed reports, your site speed, you would have mobile versus desktop behavior. So on Google Analytics, you will see mobile views, you will see desktop. So custom dashboards for content, you would also see there. So once it's connected to your website, you would see your contents, the pages, how they are performing, each of these pages, how they are performing. So these are the things you need to look out for. So that's basically the end of today's class. So before, I guess we should be able to, I don't know, can you hear me very well now? I guess we should be able to. So can you hear me well? Sorry about the background noise. But then before it, I guess we should be able to answer questions. So if you have any question about Google Analytics, you have any question about A and B testing, Please check it. Send your questions in now. Can you hear me now? Kindly confirm if you can hear me. All right. So I'll start answering all your questions now. Um, does being a content, I was explaining, does being a content or copywriter necessarily mean being an SEO writer. No, there are some people that actually just do SEO writing and they don't do copywriting. There are some people that I know someone that does copywriting more than SEO writing. In fact, they don't even have an idea of SEO writing. So yes, how do you test ads? So this is basically for those that run ads. So as a copywriter, your job is just the landing page copy. Your job is the copy of the ad. So let's say for social media, the copy of the social media, that's the content of the social media, that's your job. So you're testing which of the copy is actually better, which of the copy would yield more results. Yes. So what if you don't have a website? How do we use GA in our social media? Okay, so if you don't have a website, you can also use Google Analytics. You would see an option. I don't know if I should. I'm looking at the possibility of sharing my Google Analytics screen. Okay, I'll be sharing my screen shortly. I don't think I want. Okay, let's see. Okay, I'll share my screen at the end of the class. So can you kindly run one of the tools on here so we can? Yes, I'll share my screen at the end of the class. So what's eye bounce rate? So eye bounce rate is eye bounce rate is more like um having like a percentage of visitors who visited the web page and then they viewed a particular page and they did not view another page. So it's more like, okay, this is the percentage of visitors that um, they left after viewing one page. So you maybe you ran an ad for a particular article or you directed people to your website and then those people just clicked on and those people just clicked on that page without going to any other page. So the percentage of people that just clicked on that page is more like high bounce rates. Like if you have more people just going to the home page of your site without going to any other page, then there's a red flag. So that is bounce rate. So you also need to check that. So do we need to have a website before you can use? I guess you actually need to have a website. You actually need to have a website for Google Analytics. If you are using a digital marketplace, can you connect Google Analytics to your store or website? A digital marketplace. Yes, yes, you can connect Google Analytics. When you run your Google Analytics, is it more advantageous to have unique visitors or people who are regular? It's they're actually the same thing. Having unique visitors, more unique visitors, is actually a very, very good sign. So having unique visitors is more like you have this particular amount of visitors that are like always visiting your site. and then impressions is or views, paid views is the number of times they viewed it. But then unique visitors is, oh, these people are like constant. These people viewed your sites, over and over again. So having more of that is actually a very good sign. A and B, full meaning of A and B is like A, B. So imagine you have copy A. Let's say you have content A and you have content B. So you're testing, is content A good? Is content B good? Or you have headline A or you have headline B. So the general name is A and B testing. So testing if A is good, if B is good. So it also works for any other let's say you have CTA, you have A, you have another B. So it works for several spheres. So can I use Google Analytics without a website? You can use Google Analytics without a website because you can connect your social media platform to Google Analytics. But it's majorly used for websites actually. Any procedures on how to create a website? Yes, but that's more for web developers actually, and that's a whole lot on its own. Yeah. So I guess I should quickly. I need to edit some things before. I'll share my screen soonest. I'll just create a dummy page. Okay, after the attendance, I would share my screen and show you a live video of how to create it from scratch. So we'd go for attendance by 8, and then after that, we'd use just like 5 minutes, and then I show you how to create your Google Analytics account, from scratch, and then show you the video. So let's go for attendance now. All right. So welcome back, everyone. I feel for your case. So if I am getting it right, you get welcome back, everyone. Um, so this is a just a dummy account. So I'll be creating. I'll start with. So when you see this, when you open your Google Analytics account with your email, you would see this. So it will tell you if you should create an account or a property. An account is, let's say, maybe the brand or whatever, and then the property is either it's from website or it's from whatever, wherever place you're collecting your data. So in this case, let's create an account. All right, please let me know if you are following me. Let me know if you are following me. If you are following me, say I am following you. Let me know if you are following me. If you can see my screen, if you are following me, I am following you. Let me know if you are following me. I can't see any comment too. All right, I can see that some are following. Okay, so let's name this. What's the name of this class? Um, what should we name it as? Um, let's see A and B testing. A and B testing. Okay, you can click this as well. And then next. So property details, you can put any name because you can create as many properties as possible. So let's say SEO. Let me just put SEO. Nigeria. Your country is Nigeria, so or any country you're coming from. Now, the reason why we are putting dollar or naira sign because when you are running an ad, you'll be able to see how much was spent in the naira or any currency you ran the ad. Naira. Okay. Let me just use my name. Now, describe your business. Let me say this business is a small business. So you would pick the area. Are you an internet or telecoms business? Is it a news website? Is it real estate company? So you pick which one is closer to what you do. So let me say my website is more like um, a news website. So I can pick something like arts and entertainment and any size of your company. All right. So what is your business objective? Why do you have a website? You can put any which one best goes with it. So basically, if you are doing this for a brand you work with, I would advise that you put generate leads because every brand, every company, the main goal is to generate leads. So read their terms of service and agreement and then accept. So your account and property has been created. Now it's time for you to connect. You can skip for now and then, but then, so this is where whatever websites that I'm thinking I should put in. I'm thinking I personally I don't have a website. So, but I'm thinking if I can use a canvas site, though I don't think that's possible. It's not possible. Yeah. So this is where you put in your website, and I would not like to use any of my clients' websites for um, discretion purposes. So this is where you would put your website URL, and so after putting in the website URL, the website name, or let me just think of any website. Let me think of a website. Let me think of a website. Um, let me just put. Let me just think of an else website. So I just want to show you that point where. Let me put this. So let me just use this. Just any. I just got any websites from online. So this is it. So now you will see this is where you can add any data stream. Yes. So this is what the web developer would do. All of these Google tags, you would copy this information, go to whatever website that you manage, and then paste it. When you go to any website, you would see analytics, and then you would see analytics page, and then you would see Google Analytics, where to connect Google Analytics. So you can just copy this, especially for WordPress sites. It's easier for WordPress sites. So just find the Google Analytics tab, and then copy this Google tag there. So after copying this, you can test it. So there's another way also. Yeah, your web stream details. Just copy this measurement ID, copy it, and then go to the back end, the front end of the website. So now this is add stream. So you can add Android, any app that you created, any app that you manage. If you manage whatever app, let's say OP app, someone who is managing OP. So this is where they would actually get the data of how many people downloaded their app and all of that. So this is how they connect that. Then you can also another thing you can connect is the iOS apps and then your website. Yeah. So from your website you can connect from your website you can connect to social media platforms. So you would see where your data is coming from. Now, when you connect your website to your social media platforms, you will be able to see where how people are visiting your site. If they are visiting from social media, what social media platforms are they visiting from? So those are the things you are going to see. So this is a simple way. You see, it's not hard. So now let me just click next. Let me go to home, and then you would see all of this. So you can see active users. Active users is the unique visitors that I mentioned, the people that are always like there. So it helps you know that, oh, we have some people that are like, visiting this website. They visited, we don't know how many times they visited, but we have so amount of people that visited this month. So this is another one, average engagement time per user that talked about. This is average engagement time per session. This is engaged sessions. This is event count, and all of that, views, total users, sessions. Then when you scroll down, now because this we have not connected this website to any this analytics page to any website. That's why you can't see any data. And for discussion purposes, I would not like to bring in any clients data in. So continue to set up your property, access your accounts, and all of that. So then let me also show you reports. So because it's not connected, so you won't be able to see the real-time report, but it will just show zero all true. So this is active users, new users, average engagement time. Now this is where you are going to see page titles and page views. This is where you would see page titles, active viewers, and view pages. Now this is where you would see sessions, data for that, then active users for a particular session, then you new and returning users you had this month. You would see all of that there. And then your insight. So once your page is connected to a website, you would see all of these real-time reports. So let me show you real-time overview. Yeah, active users in the last 30 minutes, active users in the so this gives a detailed data, key events, event counts, real-time pages. So these are all of the things you would see once your website is connected. This is another thing I want you to see, overview of your engagements. So yeah, you would see this page, you would see there's a page where you would see the country where they are viewing from. There's a page here that you would see the country. So once your website is connected, there's a page there that you would see the country where they're coming from. So now this is comparison. These are the things I told you about: direct traffic, organic traffic, paid traffic. So you are comparing, okay, web traffic, how many, what are the results we got directly from the web? What are the results we got from tablets? People that are visiting our website from tablets, mobile phones, from emails, all of these emails that popular brands like MTN, Glow send to your phone, and then they have their website and they are saying, oh, visit our website to purchase this amount of data. We have this what's the word now? We have a particular offer for you, all of that. So we'll be able to track for brands like that, MTN. Imagine MTN is running a campaign. You'll be able to track how many people actually clicked their SMS, and they will track that. They will track, okay, the paid traffic from social media, how many people actually clicked it, and then organic traffic. So this cannot be linked to Blogspot. Now for sites like Blogspot, for sites like Medium, you would see your analytics. in your page, in your analytics page, you would see it there. For Blogspot, you would see it there. So yes, so once you have this analytics account, once it's connected to your website, from your website you can also get to find data from social media. You can also get to find, all of that. So once you have your website connected to this, you'd be able to see any data that you want to see and how you can improve, pages and screens. So this is just like an overview. You would see pages and then how you can improve, pages and how you can improve. So you see this free form funnel exploration. All of these are for ads, and then you can use them advertising this Google ads. All right, so that's basically about Google analytics. No, you can't connect to your social media directly. All right, so you can connect to your social media directly from social media to Google Analytics. You can use sites like Buffer, you can use Hootsuite. There's this Metricool, that's one that I use very well. Metricool that you can use for social media. Then from your website, you can actually get to see data from social media and all. So Google Analytics is basically for websites, mostly websites, apps that use it. Yeah. So there are apps that you can use like Metricool, Metricool, Metricool. You can use Hootsuite, Hootsuite. Can use Hootsuite. So you can use Buffer, Buffer. So you can use all of these websites to check out your social media. So as a content writer, as an SEO writer, you can use all of this to check it out. So thank you so much for today's class. I don't know, is there for LinkedIn, you can find all your analytics in your LinkedIn analytics page. You don't need any websites. If you don't have a website, can you connect your social media directly? There's social media analytics websites actually. I don't know why this is not showing a page for social media. All right, so that's basically for today's class. I don't know if you have any questions. If you don't have a website, can you please? Yes, yes, they are free. Hootsuite is free, but there are paid plans actually for all of them. But Google Analytics is free. Google Analytics is free. You can link into Blogspot. No, you can't choose more than one, but you can use it for any of those orders. You can't choose more than one option for generate leads, drive sales, no. But you can use it for any of those options actually. All right, so I guess that will be the end of today's class. Thank you so much for coming and see you in the next class.